City. An opportunity for Carl to answer once again the question, what is the truth?
The truth is that I am the uncrowned king, the young heir to the throne, and the baddest heavyweight in all the land, as you will see today on ABC Wide World of Sports, and that's the truth.
Druzy, Atlantis Hotel and Casino, in a matchup of two young heavyweight contenders who have championship on their minds, Carl the Truth Williams and Jesse Fergeson. Williams' only loss as a pro to Larry Holmes, the heavyweight champion. Fergeson is undefeated as a professional. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. Over the last few hours, the story has emerged that the New Jersey State Athletic Commission has suspended some 40 fighters, including the WBC lightweight champion Hector Camacho, for use of controlled substances. I want to turn now to Nick Balistreri before we start the program today, the assistant to the State Athletic Commissioner, for confirmation of this story. Is it in fact so, Nick, that you have suspended 40 professional fighters?
Well, that's true, Keith. 40 fighters have been suspended for the urinalysis test. But if I might add, for the past 3 years, our Attorney General has worked very hard with the Boxing Commission to see that in New Jersey, boxing has become a very safe sport. So beside the urinalysis test, there's also a very stringent eye test, the scam. All these things are now added since February of this year to the new regulations, and this is just part of that overall program.
Right. Now, you've got 90 people involved in this. If there, in fact, is an appeals process, and I would assume there is, this sort of a thing could take forever, couldn't it?
No, I'm sure that if these fighters appeal, and I don't know their names, and they haven't been given to the news media, they were given a letter, just the promoters, boxers, and managers. So I'm not sure who they all are, but if they choose to appeal, I'm sure we'll go right to work on the appeals and work them as fast as possible.
Now, all these people, managers, fighters, promoters, everybody had a list of the banned controlled substances?
They were in advance when the new regulations were put in by the Attorney General's office. They were sent letters with all the new regulations. Follow-up letters have been sent, and then the suspension letter went out, and I believe these fighters are suspended on the 26th of August of this year.
The drugs that are listed include something, well, quinine, for example. That is banned. Some of these drugs could be found in ordinary medicine, couldn't it?
Well, I'm not a doctor, Keith, but I can say this, that our medical people, and sure the research done by the Attorney General's office, has found out that if fighters are under certain drugs, or any of these drugs, they can easily be injured. So these drugs that are on these lists have been researched to find out that they can only injure a fighter, or which we're trying to eliminate here in New Jersey. And there's quite a few on there. It's possible it's maybe not just marijuana. It could be another drug. That's very possible. And I'm sure that they will be in their notification. They'll be told what drugs it was.
New York has confirmed that it will honor the New Jersey suspension. Nevada says it's going to think about it. Obviously, some people feel this will impact these fighters in other states.
Well, I'm sure, Keith, that all people involved in boxing want boxing to be safe. We here in New Jersey are now leaders in boxing, and we want it to be extremely safe. Our governor wants it to be safe. We want to be a state that's a leader in safe boxing and honest boxing. We're working hard towards that end.
All right, Nick, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Keith.
Okay. Now, let's look to the young men who will be the principals in today's fight. There are a double handful of young fighters in the heavyweight division around this country, particularly, who are trying to get themselves in a position where they can succeed Larry Holmes as the world heavyweight champion when, in fact, he does retire. Now, the WBC right now lists Pinklon Thomas as their champion, Tony Tubbs the WBA champion, but that's an obvious ploy. It's one, political, and two, it sets up a succession of matches that make money. But the world recognizes Larry Holmes as its heavyweight champion. All right, who is this man, Carl Williams, who calls himself the Truth? He has had one big opportunity in his young professional career, and that was against Larry Holmes, and he made the most of it. Started late, but had an outstanding amateur career before he turned pro. In his first international tournament, the 1981 North American Championships, Carl faced Cuban Roberto Gomez and scored a sensational first-round knockout. Later that year, he won the World Cup title, then turned pro in 1982, winning 16 straight and a title shot against Larry Holmes. What was expected to be just another win for Holmes turned into a struggle for the champion as Williams showed a jab that was quicker and more accurate than the champ's, and an overall boxing ability that had Holmes on the ropes. Then in the late rounds, Holmes staged a rally that allowed him to keep his title as Williams appeared to run out of gas. But despite his first defeat, Carl had established himself in the minds of many as a future heavyweight champion. We asked Carl, in looking back, if he felt he had been ready to win the title.
No, I don't think so. If I would have beat Larry Holmes, fine. But I don't know. It remains to be seen how I would have, all the hoopla and all the beating Larry Holmes and all the stuff would have taken me. You know, maybe this loss did a great deal for me. Now I was able to sit back and reevaluate a lot of things behind this loss here.
As he prepared himself at his training camp in New York's Catskill Mountains for his first fight since the title shot, Carl says he understands he can't wait for another world championship opportunity to fall in his lap, that he must keep active, work hard on his conditioning, train to refine his great natural athletic skill. Veteran trainer Carmen Graziano began working with Carl before the Holmes fight, and in the short time he's been with him, Graziano says he appreciates what makes Carl Williams such a tremendous prospect among all the heavyweight contenders today.
Oh, the great reflexes, great coordination. Yeah, he's a tremendous athlete. You know, this guy could have been a great baseball player, a great football player, a great basketball, whatever he wanted to do, he could have done, because he's got the innate quality to do anything, plus the mentality that goes with that. Tough, very tough.
Carl knows he's been blessed with exceptional physical gifts, but says there's a lot more involved.
I have natural ability, but I work hard at my natural ability. I enhance my natural ability by the drive and my determination. Anybody that knows Carl Williams will always say that this kid works hard.
Take him out. Take him out, sir.
Outside the gym, Carl Williams works hard preparing himself mentally for his chosen profession.
I think about boxing a lot, how to perfect myself as far as the boxing is concerned, you know, because this is my life. This is it. If I fail at this, I blow my one big chance of being what I really, really want to be, and that's the heavyweight champion of the world.
Well-spoken young man, Carl Williams, and he really popped into prominence with his 15-round showing against Larry Holmes. Larry called him a tough young man and definitely an absolute contender. As Larry put it, if he cleans up his act a little, and that means perhaps a little more consistency. His opponent today is Jesse Fergeson, a native of North Carolina, turned pro after serving in the Marines, where in fact he learned to box. Moved over to Philadelphia, where he felt his fight career would accelerate for him, and it has. He has won 13 in a row. He won the ESPN tournament earlier this year here in Atlantic City. So he is ready for a considerable opportunity himself today. Jesse Fergeson against Carl Williams. It's a 10-rounder. Heavyweights, both in around 213 pounds. The tail of the tape for today's fight, you can see that Jesse Fergeson gives up 3 years, 3 inches, 3/4 of a pound, and 5.5 inches in reach. So the pluses are on the side of Carl Williams. But it is a big opportunity for Jesse Fergeson. The referee is Larry Hazard. The judges are Phil Newman, Tom Kazmarek, and Frank Brunette. The referee does not vote in New Jersey. The manager of Fergeson and trainer is Bowie Fisher. Carmen Graziano is the man training Carl the Truth Williams. And here is round 1 scheduled for 10. Left hook is the best weapon, perhaps, for Fergeson. Straight, hard left jab, the best weapon for Carl Williams. Round system for scoring, supplemental 5-point must system in New Jersey. Standing 8 count is in effect. The 3 knockdown rule may or may not apply. That is at the discretion of the referee. And the doctor can stop it and cannot be overruled in the state of New Jersey. Fergeson in the dark trunks, Carl Williams wearing the white. And they open up at a heady pace. In the fight against Larry Holmes, when Carl Williams seemed to tire after 8 rounds, Holmes was particularly effective to the body. And it would appear that Fergeson has that in mind. A hard right hand by Carl Williams. And Fergeson sags back into the corner. It was a hard right hand by Williams to the side of the head. And Fergeson now is trying to weather the round. Williams loaded up and leveraged the right hand, and Fergeson almost shut down. Fergeson in the dark trunks is in trouble. Another hard right hand by Williams. But Fergeson comes out of the corner with a left hook followed by a right. Like so many fighters out of the Philadelphia gym. Fergeson tends to throw hooks, which leaves him open in the middle, and Williams stung him with a straight right. Hard right hand over the top by Fergeson, so apparently he's regained his faculty. Fergeson was really hurt in the middle of that first round. Another right hand by Williams. Fergeson slid away from some of it. But now Williams is scoring repeatedly with that right. That 5.5-inch edge in reach seems apparent here in the first round for Carl Williams. A hard shot to the body. A right hand comes over the top. A hard left hand by Williams. And Jesse Fergeson has got his problem. Half a minute to go. He's got a half a minute to survive this first round. Carl Williams, who went 15 rounds with the champion Larry Holmes, coming out big here in this opening round. And now Fergeson gets inside and hammers to the body as we come down toward the end of round number 1. Fergeson looked strong enough at the end of the round, but in the middle of this first round, Fergeson was almost put on the deck from a right hand from Carl the Truth Williams. And Williams is unmarked. Fergeson is battered some. Here is the blow that started the problem. The left hook to the body. And then as he came up, Williams found him with that right hand to the side of the head, and it took the better part of a minute before Jesse Fergeson was able to shake off the effects of it. And as he sits into the corner now, and Bowie Fisher and company talk to him, he looks a bit weary. A couple of other major headlines today in sports. Bill Matlock, third baseman, Pittsburgh Pirates, has been traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers for 3 players to be named later. That is a significant trade, particularly for Matlock and the Dodgers. And Danny Marino today, the Miami Dolphins quarterback, at a news conference confirmed that he is going back to camp, hoping that his contract problems can be resolved. But he is going back into training camp, try to get ready for the start of the season with the Dolphins. He's been holding out, as most of you know. We go now to round number 2. Number 1 belonged to Carl Williams. Jesse Fergeson figures to be more effective if he can work inside. So far, Williams has denied him that privilege. Again, that straight right hand from Carl Williams, and it's quick. There's that stiff left jab, and Fergeson took it flush in the face. When Carl Williams was fighting as an amateur, and I recall him, he was much like Tyrell Biggs. He would fly around the ring and his arms were loose. He, like Biggs, has become a little more stationary, getting much more leverage, and has learned to defend himself, obviously, much better. And he rattled Fergeson again with that left-right combination. And Jesse Fergeson right now looks a little tentative. Pace slowing just a bit here in the second round. Fergeson came out as he had said that he wanted to do and went straight at Carl Williams. He wanted to take the fight to him rather than sitting outside letting Williams pepper him with that very strong left hand. And it looks as Fergeson still wants to do that. But he is certainly more wary now of the short right from Carl Williams. There's a big left hook by Jesse Fergeson, followed by a right to the side of the head, but Williams runs away from the rest of it. That was the best punch of the fight so far by Fergeson. covered from the right hand. Fergeson in the dark trunks, 13-0. And Carl Williams, 16-1, only lost 2 home. Larry Holmes. We know earlier this year, May 20, as a matter of fact. Long left, and it's tough. Jesse Fergeson in the dark trunks and Carl the Truth Williams in white trunks. 2 of the many young heavyweights looking for their chance to wear the title. Eventually, one would assume down the road, we will have a succession of fights that will give us, hopefully, one champion. That has not been the style of late. Fergeson now starting to come back some, working to the body and then trying to hook to the head. He missed to the head, but he landed to the body. Oh, hard right hand grabs Fergeson into the rope. First it was the left, and then the whistling right hand knocked him back into the rope. The referee, Larry Hazard, did not see it as something akin to a knockdown, and so did not give Fergeson a standing 8 count. But Williams now opening up on him in the corner. Hard left hook. Williams is in trouble. He's down. It was the left hook by Jesse Fergeson, and the minute he hit him with the left hook, Williams' eyes rolled up and Carl sagged slowly to the canvas. And so Jesse Fergeson now trying to turn it around. Williams had been pounding and pummeling Jesse Fergeson in Ferguson's corner, and then suddenly that whistling left hook nailed him flush on the jaw. And Carl took the 8 count. Williams looks all right now, but you know inside of him there's more respect than again the left hook by Fergeson. Fergeson with a big round, a hard right hand by Jesse Fergeson. And he's putting the pressure on Carl Williams, who's hurt. Williams sagging into the ropes, and Larry Hazard will give him, I'm sure, here a count. No, he won't. He did not. Carl Williams almost going down in that flurry. And it's been the big left hook by Jesse Fergeson that has caused Carl Williams all the trouble. We're in round number 3. It's belonged to Fergeson, and that whistling left hook just missed that time. And I mean to tell you, that punch has some power in it. The right is short, but the combination that follows lands on the face of Jesse Fergeson. Both fighters look a little weary right now. Big bombs so far. Fergeson covering in the corner. He was covering in the corner a while ago when he let go with a big one. That put Williams down. Williams with a hard right hand. Another hard right, a hard left, and a combination by Carl Williams, and Fergeson gives ground. Into the final seconds of the 3rd round. We'll stay and have a look at Carl Williams, who's having trouble finding his corner. Here's the early part of this round where Williams seemed to have Fergeson in bad trouble, knocked him back into the ropes. But you can see that Larry Hazard was right there and did not call an 8 count on it. And Fergeson came in, took his balance. Then he was backed into the corner right here where Williams was really ripping at him. But watch this left hook. Boom, right there. And from that point on, it was a chase across the ring. Carl Williams, dazed for a moment, sat down, got up after 8, and then later in the round, he took another left hook that drove him across the ring and into the ropes and almost went down again. So that one belonged clearly to Jesse Fergeson, who did in that round what he said he hoped to do. Carl Williams looks all right as he comes out to answer the bell for round 4. Pops that left out. That's his advantage in his reach and the quickness, the hand speed that he possesses. Moving a little more here in the 4th round, too, after being decked once and almost put down for a second knockdown in that 3rd round. Fergeson takes a hard right hand in the corner, but seems to shake it off. Comes back with his left hook, and Williams took part of it off. Tell you one thing, I don't believe Fergeson is skilled enough yet in his career to sit there in the corner and try to cover all of the weaponry of Carl Williams. He's too quick. He has very good leverage, too. To the body goes Fergeson. This is where Williams will pick him apart. Fergeson needs to get him crowded just a bit. There's that left. After 10 rounds of that, folks, I'll tell you, you'll have a headache. Fergeson missed as he tried to move quickly with his left hook. Neither fighter seems to be marked. Williams suffered an early cut in the corner of the left eye in his title bout against Larry Holmes. There's that combination again, and most of it got home. Fergeson looks all right. Those blows by Carl Williams not landing solidly, but they will have their effect as time goes on. Carl Williams out here in the fourth round got his mouth open. That normally indicates some degree of fatigue, but in his particular case, it may not be so. There's a left hook thrown from the corner, followed by an overhand looping right from Fergeson, and they both landed. But Williams shook him off, and he still got him pinned. 20 seconds to go in round 4. Carl Williams, in this kind of a circumstance, building up an edge in points, no question about it. Good hard right from below, another right over the top, both landing by Carl Williams.
Roger, you've procrastinated long enough. Now's the time to insulate. It'll mean a warmer house this winter, potential savings on your energy bills. And Roger, don't forget the federal energy tax credit. It runs out at the end of 1985. Plus, get a fall outing gift free for insulating with CertainTeed fiberglass insulation. So, Raj, get off your hammock and into your CertainTeed dealer now for complete details. Because nobody rewards you like CertainTeed.
This bud's for everyone in uniform who keeps things running smooth.
This bud's for you. You know America takes pride in what you do.
Budweiser salutes all the men and women who have proudly served this great country.
For all you do, this bud's for you.
We go to round 5 here in Atlantic City. Paul the Truth Williams in white, Jesse Fergeson in black. Some people are wont to say that today's crop of young heavyweights make up mediocrity. Well, that might be true, but only in the sense that most of them are young men and their professional experience has been limited. But if, in fact, Larry Holmes steps aside and retires after winning his 49th, or even if he decides to go ahead and break Marky Marciano's record and win 50 without a loss, there's enough quality in this group of young heavyweights that eventually one is going to emerge that will be of superior quality. There you go. There's Fergeson sitting back on the rope. And again, I say to you, he cannot afford to do that because Carl Williams will just pick him apart and build up an obvious point advantage. They score by round in New Jersey with a supplemental 5-point must system. We obviously know by now, having watched 4 full rounds, that Jesse Fergeson is an effective counterpuncher. But you can't wait too long before you start counterpunching. Coming off the ropes or out of the corner. That right hand to the head hurt Fergeson. The left hook knocked Carl Williams down. That's the second time he put Williams down with that left hook coming off the rope. Oh, boy, did he spin him around. I mean, he lifted him off the floor. Now Williams is going to have to run a little bit to get his faculties together. In the third round, Williams went down from one of those lefts, was hurt a second time from it, and again he's down here in the fifth round. I would say, on the other hand, that Williams won the two other rounds, and going into that big left hand, he was ahead in this round. But you can see what the one big punch can do for you. Williams throwing far and away the greater number of punches. Oh, that left hook from Fergeson. Missed with it there. Just. Half a minute to go. Round number 5, and Carl Williams looks all right. At the end of round number 5. Good fight.
In the beginning, man's feet walked free. But the road to civilization was paved, so man developed shoes. Soon after that, man developed athlete's foot.
You guy.
Today, there's Mycotin. Mycotin cures athlete's foot. It's the only athlete's foot medicine you can buy with myconazole, a patented ingredient recommended by specialists to cure athlete's foot. Mycotin in spray, powder, or cream. Mycotin, the end of the road for athlete's foot.
Have you driven a Ford?
Ford dealers present 7.7 Plus. 7.7% annual percentage rate financing on any new 1985 Ford car. Full-size pickup, Econoline van, or club wagon in stock. Or choose generous cash allowance direct from Ford for cash buyers. Or choose special lease offers. The choice of 7.7 Plus at your Ford dealer now.
A look at the big left hook by Fergeson in that 5th round. Boom. Boy, Carl Williams just spun around, went down. And now we go into round number 6. Despite the 2 big left hooks by Fergeson, I am of the opinion that probably Williams is leading in the fight, and New Jersey scoring 3 rounds to 2. Oh, there's that left again, right on the jaw. Williams shakes his head. He's throwing more punches, but Fergeson seems to be throwing the bigger punches. Fergeson in the dark trunks and Williams in white. Williams' expression really doesn't change much, even when he has been tagged. But you can see it in his eyes. The first left hook, his eyes just spun around. Boy. On the other hand, Fergeson is virtually impassive. You know he's been hurt, but he has shown nothing. Blinks on that left jab that stung him right in the nose. It was right between the eyes, and it hurt him. I'd like to alert our local stations that we will, at the end of this round, take a station break. Missing with the right hand, Williams, after digging to the body. The left hand, advertised as the primary weapon for Carl Williams. And he has landed it a lot in this fight. But it has not impacted Fergeson as much as some thought it might. Hard right to the body by Carl Williams. Fergeson a little late that time getting his hands up. Seems a little bit weary at this point. There always comes a time in every contest on almost anything where you've got to look to that second wind, and perhaps this is the time for Jesse Fergeson. We're in round number 6. 20 seconds to go in round 6. These two youngsters are not sparing the horses. They're spending everything they've got. We'll be back with more of ABC's Wide World of Sport after this.
Step into the world of sugars, a world of beauty, a world of dining. Delightful executive lunches weekdays until 4. At 4, happy hour takes over with free hors d'oeuvres. And the entertainment, the greatest show in Texas.
The greatest show in Texas starts at lunch and lasts through closing time. And man, there's never a cover charge at Sugar's. Check it out. Sugar's, 404 Highland Mall Boulevard. Simply the greatest show in Texas. You'll have a roaring good time.
Running smooth and silent, Exxon, Exxon. Running strong and sure, Exxon, Exxon. Running smooth and easy, running with the tiger.
When you buy Exxon gasoline, count on the convenience of your Exxon credit card or pay cash and save with Exxon's discount for cash.
Running smooth and easy, Exxon.
Dr. Red Duke, only on 24 Action News.
Into round 7 we go. Young heavyweights, Paul the Truth Williams and Jesse Thunder Fergeson. Williams, 25, didn't start boxing till he was 20. And Jesse Fergeson at 28 learned to box in the Marine. And a combination by Paul Williams. It's a round system scoring with a supplemental 5-point plus here in New Jersey. And despite the big punches by Jesse Fergeson, I have the feeling that Williams is ahead because of the round scoring system, perhaps by as much as 4-2. He's simply thrown more punches than Jesse Fergeson. Even though Fergeson put him down in the 3rd round and again in the 5th round. At least Williams has shown his resiliency to come back from being nailed by a big punch. And both the left hooks that put him down were big punches. When he is stunned, Fergeson comes flying out of the corner and chases Williams out of there. And he suddenly reverses things. And it perhaps comes as a result of being stung. He told me he doesn't think much about pain, but he knows that when he is hurt, it strengthens his resolve, and he has shown that. Every time he has been stung, he has come thundering back. And he did right there. Oh, good right hand by Williams. And a good right to the body. And now Fergeson looks troubled. Wild with the left. And late with it. Perhaps a sign of fatigue. 7th round. Both men got to be feeling the pace. Fergeson looks like he wouldn't mind coasting just a tad here to get his wind. We've seen Williams sitting on the ropes and back in the corner, being fumbled a couple of times and suddenly exploding. That time, Williams hits him with a right uppercut, sharply on the chin. But right now, Carl is holding and pinning Jesse Fergeson right against the rope, trying to take away any leverage from Fergeson in that big left hook. Inside a half minute to go in round 7. Been a bit of a flat round for Fergeson. He's thrown 3 of those in this round and missed with all 3. It's still, however, a tough fight.
Do you know what kills your muffler? Rust. Rust that can start on the inside and eat its way through. Now there's a muffler that helps stop this problem. The new Walker Advantage with a revolutionary rust inhibitor, Absorbite, that actually absorbs internal moisture. The inside of this muffler was not protected with Absorbite. This muffler was. You can see the difference. The new Walker Advantage. It puts rust at a disadvantage.
Warranted at service outlets and auto parts stores where you see this sign.
For just 4 days, look to Sears to pull a look together. Save 25% on all jeans, 30% on every sweater. With lots of tops now half price. Moms, dads, kids, there's more for your life. 4 days only. 4 days only. 4 days only. 4 days only. Save on all jeans, every sweater, and lots of tops to pull it all together.
There's more for your life.
Sale ends this Labor Day.
At Sears.
Round number 8. Heavyweights, Carl Williams in white and Jesse Fergeson in the dark trunks, and Fergeson now showing some signs of fatigue because Williams has thrown far and away the greater number of punches. 3 big left hooks by Fergeson have been pretty much the story for him in this fight, and it's a round system scoring which would seemingly give Williams a considerable edge at this point. Next Monday night here on ABC, the college football season. CFA football opens on ABC. And we'll be in Athens, Georgia, along with 83,000 other folks, for the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. A couple of old Southeastern Conference bowls, and it should be an exciting way to spend Labor Day night. So join us at 8 Eastern Time. And then the following Monday, the 9th of September, we'll have the opener of NFL Monday Night Football on ABC, and it matches up one of the great traditional rivalries in the National Football Conference, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. That move right there, I think, shows you that Jesse Fergeson is tired. He's taken a lot of punches. This is round 8. Fergeson looking for the big one, and Carl Williams controlling the center of the ring and picking away at it. Short right by Williams. Partially landed. He's scoring now with that right hand. Digging it to the body. There's a right hand to the head by Carl Williams. Fergeson looks tired. Wicked straight left. Staggers it. It's a right hand to the jaw by Williams. Fergeson trying to weather it here in round 8, and another right hand by Williams. I told you way back in the second round that the accumulation of punches would have their effect down the road, and I think they are now beginning to impact Jesse Fergeson. However, Carl Williams can certainly, with truth, tell you he's been in a fight.
It'll work on your dandruff. Yeah, but I'm afraid it won't leave my hair the way I like it. Hey, this is great stuff.
Today's Head & Shoulders.
It's all I use. Okay.
Tough dandruff protection that works only on your scalp, not your hair. Gentle conditioners go there.
Tough on dandruff, right? But great on hair.
Today's Head & Shoulders. Dandruff care that's good for your hair.
Strength, pride, tradition. For centuries, the Clydesdales have been known as a special breed. Today, the Clydesdales symbolize Budweiser's dedication to quality, superior ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and a distinctively clean, crisp taste only Budweiser can offer. Quality taste, because this Bud's for you.
During the intermission between the 8th and now the 9th round, Carl Williams showed a flicker of a smile in his corner. Seemingly relaxed now, aware as he visited with his trainer Carmen Graziano that he does in fact have this fight under control. But he must be wary of the power of Fergeson from here on. So he may change his tactics just a bit here in rounds 9 and 10. Fergeson showing fatigue, particularly in the last round, the 8th. Left by Williams. The way Fergeson is retreating now, and he is in full retreat in this round, he's not setting himself. He's not so far so that he's in proper posture to unload that big left hook. He has done it each time coming off the ropes, and that's where he is now. And he tries it, but he doesn't get it. Meantime, Williams continues to peck away with that long left hand, a reach of 82.5 inches. And again, the tools of Williams. He's a good athlete. He has very good feet. And you fight a lot with your feet. Goodly portion of your fighting is done with your feet and legs. Very good balance. Fergeson now backing up. Giving up real estate. Rubbing at his eye, and a hard right hand. Doubled up by Williams, and Fergeson rubbing at his eye. He's right above me. I can't see if he's cut or not. Right now, Carl Williams has got Jesse Fergeson pinned in the corner. Larry Hazard right there with him watching. Larry doing a good job. Not obvious except when he is needed. Now Fergeson comes ambling out of the corner, having lost some of the charge. It's been a dominant round for Carl Williams. 2 wild swings by Fergeson. Jesse now has a mouse under that lump under that left eye. And Williams is just popping away on it. A pretty good left hook that Williams threw there. It landed on the side of the head of Fergeson. Fergeson trying to cover. It's a right hand that puts him down. Jesse Fergeson bombarded in the corner, and finally a right hand put him down. He's very, very tired, and the bell literally saves him. So he'll come to his corner and try to last out number 10. But right now, Carl Williams is in total control. This was more an accumulation of punishment than the one punch. There's the punch that put him down. But throughout the 9th round, Fergeson had been absorbing punishment from the flashing hands of Carl Williams, and finally he just simply succumbed to it. But fortunately for Fergeson, it came at the close of the round. And now they're working on that lump under his eye, trying to keep it from puffing up and impairing his vision in the final 3 minutes of this fight. Brent Hume will bring you the latest news, World News Saturday. That will include, of course, the latest information on Hurricane Elena, which is beginning to pound away at the coast of Florida. It has already caused an awful lot of trouble down there. But Brett will have the latest for you. This is the final round, number 10. Fergeson will have to knock him out to win. Williams is in control. Pounds at the body. Williams answers. A hard right to the side of the head. Jesse Fergeson is down and may not get up. It was a wicked right to the side of the head, and Jesse trying to find the energy, trying to find the concentration to stand, and he can't do it, and he is stopped in the 10th round, counted out. I'm not sure they'll call it a knockout. It may go down as a TKO, but Carl the Truth Williams has won the fight. He did not have the energy, did not have the concentration to stand erect, and the fight is stopped, and I think they will call it a stoppage. Here it is, the end of it. Very tired and down at the end of round 9. And and then backing into the corner, tried to flurry to the body. Here, Carl Williams nails him with that right hand to the side of the head, and Jesse went down hard. Just barely got up at the count of 9, and referee Larry Hazard said, that's enough, and they put a stool in that neutral corner, and the doctors immediately come into the corner to determine if he is all right. So he seems to be okay now as he talks to them, nods his head, and then walks back to his corner. But he absorbed a tremendous amount of punishment, and it does go down as a TKO, 223, round number 10. As Carl the Truth Williams comes off the loss to Larry Holmes and scores an impressive win today over Jesse Fergeson.
Qualify for this tournament. That number was reduced to 282 souls who showed up here at Montclair on Tuesday. That number has now been reduced to the final 2. This is match play, the amateur championship, in which you play your opponent and not the rest of the field and keep score by holes and not by the number of strokes you take. We've already had some surprises. Jay Sigel, for example, the 1982 and 83 champion, and few people have won it back-to-back, was ousted in the quarterfinals. He's a 2-time Walker Cup captain, but he lost to young Sam Randolph of the University of Southern California at the 17th hole in the quarterfinals. But perhaps more surprising than that was the loss of Scott Verplank. He is the defending champion, this young man who startled the sporting world a month ago by winning the Western Open and beating the pros. He lost to Jack Michael Kay Jr. on the 18th hole in a match that was suspended yesterday because of horrendous rainstorms and lightning that descended on the northern Jersey area. They resumed this morning, but the wait didn't do any good for Verplank, and he will not be among the finalists. Today they played the semifinal matches, and in the first one it was Sam Randolph against Jackie Michael Kay Jr. And the young man from the University of Southern California was more than up to it with shots like these. With a good putting stroke going for him also, Randolph defeated Kay 4-3 to go into the finals for the second year in a row. The second semifinal match today was between Peter Persons of Georgia and Chip Drury. They were teammates at the university down there, but today they were head-to-head in the semifinals of the United States Amateur. And Persons, with shots like these, had it mostly his own way all afternoon. A 3-1 victory for Persons over Chip Drury, and the stage is set for the finals tomorrow. It'll be Sam Randolph from the University of Southern California against Peter Persons of the University of Georgia. Join us at 4:30 Eastern Time.
Well, Carl Williams, if anybody wondered about your resiliency, the ability to come back after absorbing a big punch, that doubt has been erased.
Oh, no question, Keith. Jesse Fergeson was very game. He was throwing left hooks, he was throwing wide punches, and I was keeping my right hand, I should say, very low, and I should have been picking it up. He came over the top and caught me several times, but one time over here in the corner, I did slip. He did make contact, but I was in the midst of slipping also. You know, so I didn't really think that Larry should have called that a knockdown, but he did anyway.
You feel that you're satisfied with the way it went? It was decisive for you.
Well, first of all, I didn't get a chance to loosen up in the back. I came down here and they brought me right out. So really, I came into the ring cold, and everybody knows when a fighter's cold, he can come out here and get decked. The same thing happened with Quick Tiller. I came out cold and he decked me. But when I loosen up, I'm a entirely different fighter, not to make any excuses, because I did my job. I did basically what I had